Hey, when I first started selling, I sold more roofs than anybody else in my office by a large margin. The problem wasn't that I was selling more roofs. The problem was that out of all the salespeople in my office, I'd only made about a third of the money. I was selling small homes, small little three-tab homes, people that I was comfortable talking to, people that lived in neighborhoods that were a lot like the neighborhood I grew up when I was young. Now, for any salesperson, the thrill of selling a job, whether you make 50 bucks or you make 500 bucks or you make $5,000, a salesperson's always glad to put ink on a piece of paper. This isn't about how much money you make signing contracts, and neither is it about how much you make per contract, or going after higher profit jobs. That's not what this is about. What this is about is your imagination. So here's the deal. I'm sitting at the end of the year. I've sold more roofs than anybody else, but I've only made a third of the money of the top salespeople. And this big gun comes in the office and he goes, "Mike, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you targeting the higher end roofs? You're a great salesperson." And I said, "Well, I guess I'm afraid. They live in these big houses. I had no basis of understanding of what that life was like, so I couldn't imagine myself relating to them or trying to sell them because they were different than me." And he said, "Mike, they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like you. Get out there and talk to them." And a couple months later, there was a storm in a really nice neighborhood, and I went out and I made more money in a couple months than I'd made all year in my previous job. And they were just like me. They put their pants on one leg at a time. They have the same fears and doubts and they're the same. But again, this isn't about targeting higher profit jobs, and it's not about how much profit you make per job. What this is about is your imagination. What do you imagine yourself being able to do? Because until you can imagine that you can do it, until you can imagine yourself closing the big deal, until you can imagine yourself presenting a product that's not a three-tab or a dimensional shingle, until you can imagine closing a deal that'll make you more money than you make in an entire month now, until you can imagine that, you have no basis to take action. What you have to do is you have to start imagining those things. Close your eyes, imagine yourself sitting across the table from the prospect you want to close. Not the prospects you're closing now, but the ones you want to close. Imagine yourself talking to the people that are influential enough to get you in front of the people where you can make the money you want to make. Imagine yourself doing that. Hey, if you're not in roofing sales, maybe you're a realtor, imagine yourself selling the $1 million home. Not the $100,000 home. Imagine yourself selling the $1 million home. Imagine yourself walking into a big account, a big corporate account, and signing up all their entities under them. Not just one business, but everybody under them. Imagine yourself doing that. Because until you can imagine it, you can't do it. That's all I got for today, but make it a great day.